Hello, happy Friday. Welcome back to the RedMars Podcast. I'm AstroJake, your guide to the cosmos, and today we're diving into the fascinating field of astrobiology and the search for life in the universe. And I apologize in advance if there's any background sound. I am doing some 3D printing here in my office, so you might hear a little bit here and there. But yeah, before we get started, I definitely wanted to take a moment here and recognize a significant milestone in space exploration. As mentioned yesterday, on January 16th, 2025, Blue Origin successfully launched their New Glenn rocket. Yes, absolutely. So happy to finally see New Glenn fly. This mission marked a major achievement, showcasing years of hard work and innovation. While the GS-1 booster didn't quite stick the landing, and by not quite, it missed, and we lost the booster. However, the secondary objective was not critical. It was all the primary mission data was successfully gathered, and the payload was delivered to orbit and is still currently operating there nominally and feeding all kinds of information to Blue for our upcoming missions and for future development of Blue Ring. So this is a huge step for Blue Origin, and it highlights the perseverance and ingenuity driving the future of space exploration. So absolutely thrilled to see New Glenn take to the skies. And if you haven't seen any images or if you missed the live stream, it was quite early in the morning. I think the actual T0 time was around 1:35 a.m. Eastern. So definitely encourage you to go take a watch, look up some of the pictures that have been shared from some of the photographers nearby. Absolutely incredible. But with that, let's get started on today's episode. What is astrobiology? Well, astrobiology is the scientific study of life in the universe, encompassing the search for its origins, evolution, and potential existence beyond Earth. This field asks some of the biggest questions. Where did we come from? Are we alone in the universe? And what does life look like elsewhere? Well, astrobiologists investigate these questions by studying a wide range of topics, including Earth's most extreme environment, microbial life in space, and planetary systems in the habitable zone of distant stars. The ultimate goal is to determine the conditions necessary for life and where we might find it. So, astrobiology on the International Space Station. Great place to start. So, we're going to start here because it's closer to home. So, on the International Space Station, the ISS, while most people think of the ISS as a place where astronauts conduct physical and engineering experiments, it's also an incredible floating laboratory for astrobiology. The microgravity environment aboard the ISS allows scientists to study how life adapts to the unique challenges of space. This includes understanding how microgravity, radiation, and the vacuum of space affect organisms at a cellular and molecular level. These studies not only inform us about how life on Earth can adapt, but also helps us understand how life might survive on other planets. So let's talk about then microorganisms in space. So one area of focus is exposing microorganisms to the space environment. Scientists have used platforms like the European Space Agency's EXPOSE facility, which sits outside the ISS. This is to test the resilience of microbes. These experiments involve placing microbial samples in sealed containers and exposing them to the vacuum of space, unfiltered solar radiation, and extreme temperatures. Microbes like Deinococcus radiodurans, nicknamed Conan the Bacterium, reference to Conan the Barbarian if you don't get that one, they have shown remarkable survival capabilities. This bacterium can repair its DNA after intense radiation exposure, giving us insights into how life could endure harsh conditions on planets like Mars. Similarly, spores of fungi and lichens have survived extended periods in space, demonstrating the potential for organisms to travel between planets on meteorites, a concept known as panspermia. Now, the biofilm experiment. What is that? Well, another key area of research is understanding how bacteria form biofilms in space. Biofilms are clusters of bacteria that stick together and to surfaces, and they can be more resistant to antibiotics than individual bacterial cells. The BioRock and BioAsteroid experiments conducted on the ISS have explored how microbes interact with rocks in microgravity. Why is this important, though? Well, on future missions, biofilms could help extract useful materials from asteroids or planetary surfaces as a process called biomining. However, They also pose risks, such as clogging equipment or causing infection in astronauts, so understanding their behavior is critical for long-term space missions. Alright, but what about plant growth? Well, after we all watched The Martian, I'm sure all of us wanted to go and become botanists and try to grow things on Mars. But not all of us could be Mark Watney. But let's talk a bit more about what goes on in the ISS a little bit closer then. So, the ISS is also a testbed for growing plants in space, which is vital for future missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. Experiments like Veggie and Advanced Plant Habitat have explored how microgravity affects plant growth, seed germination, and nutrient uptake. Not just planting potatoes on some Martian soil with the help of some, we'll just say, biofuel. These studies have revealed that while plants can grow in microgravity, they experience changes in root structure and water distribution. Researchers are working on engineering plants that are better suited for space farming. This could provide fresh food for astronauts and oxygen recycling during long-term missions. Along with this, though, we have another issue, and we've mentioned this in other episodes quite frequently: radiation and the radiation effects on life. So, radiation in space is a significant concern for both humans and microorganisms. On the ISS, scientists study how cells and DNA respond to high-energy cosmic rays and solar radiation. This research not only helps protect astronauts, but also sheds light on how life on other planets might cope with similar conditions. For instance, the NASA Twins study, which compared the health of astronaut Scott Kelly, who spent a year on the ISS, with his twin brother Mark on Earth. This revealed critical insights into the effects of space radiation and microgravity on the human body. These findings are instrumental in planning future human missions to Mars. Educational and outreach experiments. Well, astrobiology experiments on the ISS aren't just for professional scientists. They also involve students and citizen scientists. Programs like NASA's Gene Lab make data from space biology experiments publicly available, allowing anyone to contribute to the analysis. This democratization of space science has inspired students worldwide to engage with cutting-edge research, fostering the next generation of astrobiologists and space scientists. So, the ISS is a cornerstone of astrobiology, providing a unique environment to study life's resilience and adaptability. The experiments conducted here not only help us prepare for long-duration missions, but also bring us closer to answering the ultimate question: could life exist beyond Earth? By understanding how life behaves in space, we lay the groundwork for one day finding it elsewhere in the cosmos. So, we mentioned microorganisms and microgravity, so let's talk a bit more about that. Microgravity has a profound impact on living organisms. Microbes, plants, and even human cells behave differently in space. On the ISS, researchers have discovered that bacteria can grow more aggressively and become more resistant to antibiotics in microgravity. This is helping us understand how microbes might behave during long-term space missions and how to protect astronauts from infections. On a larger scale, microgravity studies also inform how life support systems recycle air, water, and waste essential for sustainable human presence in space. These advancements could help applications on Earth, such as improving water purification systems in remote areas. So what about the search for life then beyond Earth? So, one of the most thrilling aspects of astrobiology is the ongoing search for life beyond Earth. For centuries, humanity has gazed at the stars and wondered, are we alone? Thanks to modern science and technology, we're closer than ever than answering that question. So let's start with Mars, the poster child for astrobiology curiosity. This red planet has captivated scientists because of the overwhelming evidence that it once had liquid water, an essential ingredient for life as we know it. Ancient riverbeds, dried up lakes, and signs of groundwater have all been discovered, pointing to a much wetter past. If Mars once had stable bodies of water, could it also have hosted microbial life? Well, let's dive into some Martian research. So, Perseverance and beyond. NASA's Perseverance rover is at the forefront of Martian search for life. Armed with a suite of sophisticated instruments, it's specifically looking for biosignatures, chemical or physical signs of past or present life. One of its most exciting tools is the Sherlock instrument, which uses spectroscopic analysis to detect organic compounds in Martian rocks. But let's not forget its predecessor, the Viking landers, in the 1970s. So Viking conducted experiments to detect microbial life in the Martian soil. And while initial results were intriguing, they turned out to be inconclusive, with chemical reactions mimicking signs of life. This underscores how challenging it is to definitively detect extraterrestrial life. So in the near future, missions like the European Space Agency's ExoMars rover will dig deeper, literally by drilling into the Martian surface to search for preserved biosignatures beneath layers of protective soil. But what about false positives? I'm sure there's got to be some false positives in the search for life. Well, there have been times when scientists thought they had found evidence of extraterrestrial life, only for it to turn out to be something else entirely. One famous example of this is the Allen Hells 84001 meteorite discovered in Antarctica in 1984. This piece of Martian rock contained tiny structures that some researchers thought were fossilized bacteria. The announcement in 1996 made global headlines, but subsequent studies suggested that the formations were more likely the result of geological process. Another example comes from Venus. 2020, astronomers reported detecting phosphine in the planet's atmosphere, a gas that on Earth is often associated with microbial life. However, further analysis has called these findings into question, showing how complex and nuanced the search for life can be. Icy moons. What lies beneath the ice? Well, beyond Mars, some of the most promising locations for life in our solar system are the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, particularly Europa and Enceladus. Both moons are thought to harbor vast subsurface oceans beneath their icy crusts, kept liquid by tidal heating from their parent planets. Europa's ocean is especially intriguing because its surface is riddled with cracks and ridges, suggesting that the ocean could be in contact with a rocky seafloor. This interaction could potentially create hydrothermal vents similar to those that we have on the Earth's ocean floor, where life thrives without sunlight. NASA's upcoming Europa Clipper mission aims to study Europa's surface and subsurface in detail, searching for clues about habitability. Meanwhile, Enceladus has already provided tantalizing hints of habitability. The Cassini spacecraft detected plumes of water vapor, organic molecules, and salts being ejected from cracks in its icy surface, essentially giving us a sample of its subsurface ocean. Future missions may fly through these plumes to search for signs of life directly. What about beyond our solar system, though? There has been some talk of exoplanets, so what about those? Well, our search for life isn't confined to just our solar system. With over 5,000 confirmed exoplanets, planets orbiting other stars, we know now that potentially habitable worlds are common in the universe. Astronomers use telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope, to analyze the atmosphere of these distant worlds. They're looking for biosignature gases like oxygen, methane, and even technosignatures, evidence of advanced civilizations. Imagine finding a planet with an atmosphere that looks just like Earth's. Let's talk about some cool experiments and breakthroughs. One groundbreaking technique is astrobiology's use of simulated environments. Scientists recreate extraterrestrial conditions in labs here on Earth to test how life might survive. For instance, researchers have exposed microbes to simulated Martian soil and radiation levels, with some organisms surviving surprisingly well. On the flip side, tools like the Laser Interferometer Space Antenna, LISA, are being designed to detect gravitational waves, which could reveal planetary systems with unique dynamics conducive to life. These cutting-edge technologies demonstrate the creativity and innovation driving astrobiological research. So why is this actually exciting? Well, besides the fact that just searching for life is cool, each discovery, even a false alarm, teaches us something valuable. It's not just about finding life. It's about understanding the conditions that make life possible. The search for life beyond Earth is a journey of discovery that not only broadens our perspective, but also deepens our appreciation for the delicate balance that sustains life here on Earth. So, what are those conditions for life, and what exactly is the habitable zone that I've mentioned? Well, for life as we know it, certain conditions must be met. Liquid water, an energy source, and a stable environment. The concept of a habitable zone, or a Goldilocks zone, is central to this. It refers to the region around a star where temperature is just right for liquid water to exist on a planet's surface, not too hot and not too cold. That's why we give it the Goldilocks zone. In our solar system, Earth is the prime example of a planet perfectly situated within the sun's habitable zone. Venus, while close to the inner edge, is scorching greenhouse, far too hot to sustain life. Mars, on the other hand, sits a bit on the outer edge, and though it's cold and dry today, its past was likely much wetter and potentially more hospitable. Well, what about those exoplanets previously mentioned? I wonder if any of those exist. Well, they do. So, as we study exoplanets, we're finding worlds that may also reside in their star's habitable zones. So here are a couple of notable examples. Kepler-452b, often called Earth's cousin. Kepler-452b is about 1,400 light-years away. It orbits a star similar to our Sun and is located firmly within the habitable zone. Though it's larger than Earth, its rocky composition and orbital characteristics make it a prime candidate for farther study. TRAPPIST-1 system. This fascinating system features 7 Earth-sized planets orbiting a cool red dwarf star about 40 light-years away. 3 of these planets, TRAPPIST-1 Echo, Foxtrot, and Golf, are in the star's habitable zone, where conditions might allow liquid water to exist. The discovery of such a system demonstrates that potentially habitable zone planets can exist even around stars very different from our Sun. Proxima Centauri Bravo. Orbiting the closest star to our solar system, Proxima Centauri Bravo is about 4.24 light-years away. It's located in the habitable zone of its red dwarf star, and its proximity makes it a high-priority target for future studies, including potential interstellar probes. What these discoveries mean. So, these planets are more than just dots of light. They're worlds with potential for oceans, weather systems, and maybe even life. While we can't yet confirm if any of these planets are truly habitable, ongoing missions like the James Webb Space Telescope and upcoming projects like the European Space Agency's Ariel will provide more insights into the atmosphere, surface conditions, and potential biosignatures. The discovery of the habitable zone planets not only fuels the search for life, but also raises the profound question about our place in the universe. Are these worlds lifeless? Or are they brimming with ecosystems and civilizations waiting to be discovered? So, the future of astrobiology is filled with exciting possibilities. Advances in technology such as biosignature detection, instruments, and powerful telescopes are bringing us closer to finding life beyond Earth. Missions like Dragonfly drone to Saturn's moon Titan and potential sample return missions from Mars are pushing the boundaries of what we can achieve. In the far future, we might even develop the capability to analyze atmospheres of exoplanets for signs of life, oxygen, methane, and other gases that indicate biological process. Astrobiology is more than a field of study. It's a journey to understand our place in the universe, from the resilient microbes on the ISS to the icy oceans of Europa and the distant stars beyond. The search for life continues to inspire and unite us. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to appreciate how far we've come and the incredible discoveries that await. Now, I just want to touch on one more thing, not related to this episode, but these episodes in general. The first 10 episodes here are the basics of ... I wanted to touch on 10 different topics that I think build up what space technologies really are and what drives us to really exploring the universe. After these 10 basic of ... episodes are complete, I'm going to switch to more deep dives into some of these technologies. For that reason, they will more than likely be a little bit longer than these episodes have been. I'm going to stretch for maybe 30 to 45 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer, so we can really deep dive into these technologies. With that, the cadence will more than likely not be an everyday podcast, but more along the lines of 1 to 2 a week. Now, definitely let me know what your thoughts are on this. I can definitely continue to produce content like I have been for the first initial 10 episodes, but if you would like and prefer these deeper dives, really getting into the nitty-gritty of these topics, definitely let me know in the comments, and we'll see what we can come up with for you guys. But definitely, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we got one more in this list of the basics of, and then we'll see where things go. So until next time, stay curious, keep looking up, and have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.